This video will show you all about the repertory module in Synergy Homeopathic software. We are in the 1.3 version, which does have some differences from the prior versions, and I'll be covering those. One thing that's different is that the repertory window can be moved around so that you can also open other modules along with it. You can have the reference library open at the same time as the repertory module. You can resize them so that they are side by side, like this, or you can also just position them so that one is easy to get to from the other. Here I've got the reference library. I can just easily click on one or the other to get to it again. Go back and forth very easily. And I just clicked on a chapter and opened it. All right, so let's close out of the reference library, or you can minimize. Now you have your reference library down here if it's easier for you to access it this way, but you can always access it by opening it up with the open book icon. This will always open your reference library. Over here on the icons palette, close book icon, repertory module, open book icon, reference library. All right, let's dive into the repertory module. I'm going to position my windows just like this, and I had opened up the urethra chapter without really meaning to, but here it is. I'm just going to find, I typed on the keyboard STR for stricture, and there it is right there. I'm going to hit return on my keyboard, enter if you're a Windows user. And it opened up my clipboard very nicely. I didn't have to open a clipboard ahead of time. Selecting that first rubric opened the clipboard for me. And you can see the count of rubrics on the clipboard with that purple sub 1. All right, so I've put this rubric onto my clipboard. I'm ready to go find the next one. You can do that either by clicking over here on the window that you know is the repertory module right behind us here. You can also use the directional arrows on your keyboard. I'm hitting the left directional arrow, and that took me back to the top of urethra, and now I hit it again and I'm back into the picture icons. So from here, you can see that this has the square around it. Urethra has the square around it. But you can either look for the next chapter and click it, or you can know what it is in your mind and type on the keyboard. I'm going to type VIS for vision. And on my keyboard, I'm going to type BLU, blurred vision. That's the one I want. So I'm going to hit return. It went onto the clipboard. You can see that. Now I'm going to go back with the left directional arrow back here. I'm going to go into the mind chapter, MIN. Typed it on my keyboard. I'm going to go look for anxiety, ANX. Now let's say we want to go further. Any rubric that has a plus sign next to it has sub-rubrics within it. And you can either click the rubric if you want to go click on it, or you can stick with those directional arrows. You can hit the right directional arrow, and now you can see anxiety is up here in what we call the breadcrumb string, and you're looking at all the sub-rubrics under anxiety. And again, each sub-rubric that has a plus sign, that means there are even more sub-rubrics. So I'm going to use the down arrow and get down to afternoon, and I want to see the sub-rubrics under afternoon, so I'm going to hit my right directional arrow. Afternoon popped up here, and now I'm looking at the sub-rubrics of mind, anxiety, afternoon. You can see 4 p.m. also has more sub-rubrics. Let's move down with the arrow to that. Okay. Now, one thing I like to see is I like to see how many remedies there are in a rubric, and I can see that I haven't turned that on yet. So I'm going to show you something about the repertory module that you'll definitely want to know. I'm going to jump back to my picture icons by clicking up here in the breadcrumb string, Reliable Repertory. I could have used the left directional arrow to go backwards, 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 one step at a time, or just going to click here, and here we are on the main page again. All right, so in the repertory module, you have the ability to change your view. You simply click on this eye icon, and I'm looking at the remedies by grade now. I'm going to change that, look at them by alphabetically. This is if you want to select only certain grades to look at. You can select or deselect accordingly. I do not want to see the sub-rubrics because I prefer the keyboard shortcut of using the directional arrows as I just showed you. If you have sub-rubrics chosen, you won't have the plus sign. Everything will be right before you on the screen, and it's a little harder to navigate with everything open, wide open like that, so it's probably best to get used to using the no sub-rubrics view. I currently don't have any authors showing, but you can certainly turn those on if you prefer. I don't have any cross-references showing. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on so that I can show you what they look like and what they do. And I'm also going to turn on the remedy count so that I can see how many remedies are in each rubric. All right, now we're ready. And I'm going to go into another chapter. Let's go into the mouth chapter. And now you can see it looks differently according to what I selected in the view. I wanted them alphabetically instead of by grade. I did want my remedy counts showing, and lo and behold, I do see some cross-references because I did turn those on. Now, what the cross-references do is they tell you other places that you ought to go if you're interested in a certain rubric. So for instance, this rubric here, mouth abscess. Some other rubrics you would maybe want to check out if you're looking into this symptom is mouth caries, mouth suppuration, mouth eruption and pustules, or this other one. So what the cross-references do is give you other ideas. And they're particularly helpful when you have a rubric that's almost just a placeholder. Here you've got mouth, anesthesia. Well, you can see that there's no sub-rubrics. It doesn't have a plus sign. It has no remedies in it, so it won't go into a clipboard. It's great for a placeholder, and that's when you really want to have your cross-references turned on if you're looking for ideas behind a rubric that neither has remedies or sub-rubrics. So instead of anesthesia, the program is recommending that you go to mouth numbness. And what you can do is just click on the sub-rubric, go straight there. It gives you even more suggestions, mouth insensible, generalities coming out of the mouth chapter, generalities, numbness. But let's go ahead and take that. Okay, so let's say we're in the mouth chapter, and there's one particular word that we just want to check out. Let's say we want to look at all symptoms in the mouth on the left side. All you have to do is type the word left, hit enter, and now you're looking at every rubric in the mouth chapter that has the word left in it. And so if somebody has told you that they only have pain on the left side, you can find that this way. And you can scroll. You maybe would want to take the big left rubric, or you could look for more specifics under pain, because you see everything is still going alphabetically. And so you would scroll down to pain, and maybe they've given you a description of the pain. Maybe it's a burning pain. So you just find what you need here, and if it's too small, you go ahead and you take the larger rubrics that you find, or you hone in on that very, very exact thing that was said to you by the patient. These smaller rubrics are wonderful for confirmatories. And this is a new feature in SHS 1.3, this searching within repertory module. To get out of that view, you simply click on the X in the Type to Search window. All right, let's look at the fact that here we are in the mouth chapter, and you see these same icons that we saw. I'm going to resize the window so we can look at them together. We saw here. So it's back here that I changed the view for every single repertory. When you're in a particular chapter, you can temporarily change the view by clicking on the same icon within that chapter. So let's say we wanted to look at authors in this mouth chapter. Turn them on. And now you can look and see the authors for each one of these remedies within the rubric. Now, when I get out of the mouth chapter, if I go back in, it's gone. So these are very temporary, just a one-off. You're in the chapter, you want to make a quick change so you can see something. In fact, this is where I might use cross-references. If I don't want them turned on all the time, taking up extra room, this is where I might turn them on if I'm looking for a particular rubric within that chapter that I've come across a placeholder and I want suggestions. But it's completely up to you how you want to navigate. Now, let's say you use 3 favorite repertories. Here I've got the reliable, that's one of them. I also like the complete. What you can do is come over to the left side here, hover your mouse on the repertory name, do a right click to get your menu option. Right click on a Mac is holding the control key down as you click. So I get this menu option. I'm not right clicking the choice, I'm just regular clicking open in a new window. And now I've got the complete 2021 in front of me. But I also have this reliable I can pop over to very quickly as well. And let's say that I also want the Suggesta. So I'm going to go find that book. I'm going to hover my mouse on the name of it, right click to get the message, choose open in a new window. Now I've got that book. So if you know that you're working out of certain repertories, what you can do is get them up here in the right side, all on each on its own tab, and then you can just toggle to get rid of that list, and then you're working out of the repertories that you want. So that's another way to give yourself a little bit more room, is to toggle away from your repertory list. All right, let's look over at these icons one more time. This, of course, was choosing the view. This is the filtering. You can filter within Repertory Module. You click on that icon, and you can filter by remedy, by author, by kingdom. Let's say that we only want to see the remedy borax. So I'm going to find the remedy within this filter, just like that. You type it in the type to search, you select it, and then you hit apply. Okay, so I've applied it to every single repertory because I'm in this main repertory window. So now we'll go into a chapter in this, remember this is in the Suggesta, and we're looking only at that one remedy because we filtered for it. And you can see that the purple icon is lit up. Whenever the purple icon is lit up, that does mean that a filter is placed. And so in order to turn the filter off, you will simply click the purple icon to turn it the color of the others. That's how you filter for a remedy. Let's go filter for kingdom. So when you click on kingdom in the filter window, you automatically see all these icons, and you can go straight to a kingdom by clicking on its icon. If I wanted to go to the plants, I could go here, or it defaults to A to Z. So if you know what kingdom it is you're interested in filtering for, maybe you could want to do more than one. Maybe you want the Solanaceae and the Crustaceae. So in order to verify that I have picked the filters that I want, I empty my type to search window and I click on this eye within the filter window, and I can see, yes, indeed, I did select the 2 that I wanted. And so I'm going to apply. So you can see the filter is placed, the purple icon is lit. Now when I go into a chapter, okay, no rubric found for that in the Suggesta, but I bet if I hop over to Reliable and I go to a chapter, the Suggesta is a smaller repertory, so therefore the filter may or may not pick up information. So I've gone to a bigger repertory to look at my result of that filter. So when I filter over here, again on the main repertory page, it will show up in every single chapter of every single book. Let's turn this off and let's go into a chapter, and you can do the same thing within the chapter. I'm going to filter for borax here and select it, and I apply it in the hearing chapter. Here it is. But you'll notice that the purple icon is not back here on the main page. Therefore, this filter will only be seen in this particular chapter. No other chapter. And in order to turn it off, you again click on the purple icon and it goes back to the normal view. So it's wonderful to be able to filter within a chapter just for a one-off thing that you need to look for in a chapter of one book. But if you're wanting to filter for everything, that means all the rubrics in all the books, this is when you use them. And you can filter for the author as well. This is if you want to get to the manual. You click on this. The manual specific to repertory module is what you'll find when you click on this question mark. I'm going to open up the left pane again, and I want to show you how the plus sign is also applicable over here in the left pane. Here I've got the Complete 21 highlighted. I clicked on it, and it opened up the chapters that are within that book. And I can hit the left directional arrow to close the chapters, use down arrows to go to the next book, and I hit the left arrow to close that book up. Okay. If you're just wanting to type to search and not have to scroll for your book, you can simply just type. I was looking for Murphy's. You can just type an M and have all the M's come up, or MUR will hone in on that book. And we'll go ahead and replace. What happens when you click this, just a regular click and not a right click to get the message open in a new tab, is that it will replace whichever tab is active over here on the right. So when I click on that, now Murphy's has taken over that tab, that active tab that had the complete on it. Now Murphy's has taken over that tab because I regular clicked it. If I had right-clicked it, I could have had the option to add a fourth tab. Clearing your type to search window will bring you back to the whole list of repertories. And this right here gives you the history of where you've been in your repertories. You can also change the sizes of the left and right pane this way. And you can also filter repertories up in Global Search. This is selected, so Global Search will search in all your repertories as well. You can either navigate the repertories and find what you need, or you can find rubrics by coming up here to Global Search, making sure that repertory is selected, and finding a rubric. Put in the keywords of that rubric. 1 to 2 keywords is maybe 3. Keep it simple when you're looking for rubrics. And so immediately you were taken to the search module, the global search module. See, we're not in repertory module anymore. That's back here. Now we're in the global search module, which is represented by this magnifying glass. Our search is in the first tab here, repertories, and each book listed here has a result from the search term Fear Dogs. And so if you want to take it from the reliable, you can. like that. You highlight here in global search, hit return, and it goes to a clipboard as well. You can browse your list of result repertories and go to any one by clicking on it to see if there's anything else you would like to take. All right, that is the introductory video for Repertory Module. If you have any questions at all, please contact us. We'll be happy to answer your questions. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.